Hello, I'm Leslie Wilcox. We're looking at the smart actions of leading companies. We're going to focus in this video on operations and execution. Some interesting things happen when RPA goes live. The first thing to say here is that you really need to make sure the robots are work ready. You must have tested them in a live environment. There is a very big difference between an experiment, an artificial testing ground, and a live environment. So please do that, because we've found a lot of companies, a lot of operations have really run into problems on the initial contact with the live environment. The second point I would like to make, and it's on the slide, is realize that robots are not human beings. I know that sounds facile in some ways, but we are spending a lot of time trying to pretend that robots are human beings and are replacing human beings. Trying to understand here that robots do not understand, they are not mindful, they are not alive, they do not make assumptions, they do not have tacit knowing, they don't understand the history so far as you would understand the history. They don't really understand fully the context. They don't really understand how other human beings behave. And they don't really understand most of your other systems and where they fit into that. So try to understand that you have to redesign the human work and the assumptions you built that on for robot work, where you can't actually make any assumptions whatsoever in the design process. You have to assume that you're going to have to be totally explicit about the instructions to give the robotic software. And the other thing is that you will have a number of robots. Some organizations have as many as 600 now. Routinely, a number have 300, trying to build to 600 or more. You have a digital workforce. Don't treat it as a set of individual pieces of software. It's a digital workforce that needs to be managed as a cohort, really, within your workforce in a complementary way with your human workforce. And it needs overseeing and needs management as a digital workforce. It's a different scale of problem that you've got now. And the last point is assign the boundaries of responsibility for a whole host of things here that will go wrong if you don't do this. It sounds bureaucratic, it sounds overstructuring, but in fact it's not. You need clear lines of responsibility, not least because the organization hasn't really done this before. So you need clear lines of demarcation and who's responsible for what. And I list on that slide some of the things you need that merges from the research. For example, IT will be supporting and hosting. They will need to have compliance with what the robots do with the technology that they are responsible for. There will be enterprise integration that needs to take place. They will provide a supportive platform. They will need operational assurance. Someone's got to be responsible for that. And then there's all this stuff of responsibility for running the robots and quality assurance, and how you get detailed insight out of this, because you're awash with very good data as a result of using structured data and running the RPA tool. But how you get insight out of that needs someone responsible for that in order to move to that stage of getting insight from your RPA tool. Lots of other things that you need oversight, human oversight there. So don't stop looking in this area of assigning clear boundaries of responsibility for RPA and its deployment. In the next video, we're going to look at how you build a mature capability for robotic process automation deployment.